Hey everybody, what's up? Kevin here from the My Song a Day Rock 2000 Today YouTube channel, and today we're going to be reviewing the third album from the band Issues. This is their album, Beautiful Oblivion. So for those of you who do not know how these album reviews work, let me give you a quick rundown of how this is going to go. First, I'm going to go through a full-on review of the band really quickly, so we're all caught up to speed on Issues where they are at the beginning of October 2019. Then I will go through each song on Beautiful Oblivion from 1 to 13, commenting on everything about the song, from how it's constructed, the vocals, the meaning behind it, and how it fits in with the entire album. Then I will rate Beautiful Oblivion on a scale of 0 to 10. Imagine 0 being, watching paint dry for 3 days, and 10 being enjoying an ice cold beer on a hot summer night. And do not worry, I will tell you why I give it that rating. So without further ado, Captain Tennille from MXC Most Extreme Elimination Challenge, take it away. Alrighty, so let's go through a little bit of a background on Issues. They say they want to blend metal with that top 40 sound to kind of create this new metalcore style, much like nu metal did with hip-hop and metal. So they take a lot of different influences from bands like Chord, Katy Perry, Linkin Park, Miley Cyrus, Jackson 5, Slipknot, and many more. So they really pull in a lot, and we're going to expect a lot of that on this album. They released their second album, Headspace, back on May 20th, 2016, and not gonna lie, looking at the reviews on it, it was met with mixed reviews, from positive to some really harshly negative reviews. And it peaked at #1 on the US Billboard Alternative Albums chart, and also peaked at number 20 on the US Top 100, or Billboard 200, I should say. It also sold 18,000 copies in week 1. So for a band on second album, that's pretty good. Now, Mike Bond was one of their vocalists, and he departed back in 2018. Actually, the band kind of fired him on January 4th, 2018. They put out a post basically citing, after a long writing process for Beautiful Oblivion and how everything was going, the creative differences were too vast, so Mike Bond had to go, and they didn't really replace him. So Mike Bond's gone, and this is where we're at with Issues right now. So Beautiful Oblivion, this is where we're at right now. It was released on October 4th, 2019, and they said it's going to be a lot different, especially without Michael Bond there. And they also said this album is all about finding that inner peace despite the hardships in life, and that you might find yourself in. So it's all about finding that inner peace. Let's see how it goes. So let's go to song number 1. Captain Tennille, hit me again. Get it on. First song of the album is called Here's to You, and this song is a tribute to the people in our lives that have stuck by us during those hardships and mental anguishes, and that they deserve better from us, especially when we're trying to push them away. So this is here's to you, cheers to you kind of thing. The song really starts out with this weird vibe that I got, kind of like a song you'd expect in a 1980s rom-com movie, which I thought, oh, this is different. Wonder where they're going with this. So then the vocals follow suit in the first verse, and it kind of comes with this 1980s, again, sappy rom-com, but then it kind of jumps into this more like 80s R&B kind of vibe, which I thought, whoa, this is a little bit different. Not necessarily sure where they're going here. Once you get to the chorus, though, the band goes with more of that 1980s hard rock style, so this one's all over the place, and I really was intrigued by the experimentation with all these 80s sounds overall. I really did like how the 80s hard rock sound mixed with that 80s R&B sound, but that 80s rom-com style, which was plastered in the intro and a little bit later on in the song, really mixed the song up in a negative way, in my opinion. So this one was a little all over the place, where some of the experimentation mixture worked and some of it did not. So coming in number 2, we have the second single, which came out on August 12th, 2019, and this is Drink About It. This song is all about a cheater being found out, unfortunately, by their partner, by their unfortunate partner, I should say. And taking a look at some of the lyrics, we're going to say, you're all I drink about, and at this point, I want to sweat you out of my system. So it's like, I've seen it, and I just want to get you out of there, being the unfortunate partner. The song starts out and mixes these pop tendencies in there with some metalcore, which I thought was very intriguing, but the song seemed really overproduced outside of the chorus specifically, because there's a lot of electronic sounds, a lot of pop sounds, where that chorus had a much more consistent metalcore feel to it with that rock and that clean vocal. So I was pretty intrigued on that end. This also song made me think like if 30 Seconds to Mars, one of my favorite bands, if they were just starting out and they were kind of just jumping in the music scene, if they're going to test out some waters, if they were going where they are today, this is the sound that they would have. Overall, I was not a fan of Drink About It because the pop tendencies did not mix well with the metalcore in my mind, and the chorus kind of stood out a little bit, but it did not mix well with the rest of the verses that were much more overly produced. Coming in number 3, we have the song Find Forever. This song talks all about feeling comfortable with a person that you love and you care about so much that you feel like you can be vulnerable with them and open with them and you can confide with them, and that it's never a bad thing. And if you shut them out, it's just not going to go over well. And trust me, I have had my problems with this in the past where sometimes I'll let people in, but I won't let them in too much, even if I really truly care about them and I know that I can feel comfortable with them. So that is something that is near and dear to my heart. The song kind of begins with this weird twanginess from the guitar that has this like weird 90s style to it, but then it goes into something like they were trying to mix their sound with something that like the Jackson 5 would have done. Again, really interesting here. The vocals, they're kind of odd because they mostly with this kind of like talk sing style, and you kind of sometimes get those higher pitched vocals in there where I think the Jackson 5 influence really comes into play. I actually enjoyed how at the last part of the song, the chorus, how it comes up, and they use these gospel claps, which really kind of bring the song a little bit more light and gives a little bit more of an intrigue to it. Overall, this song actually wasn't one of my favorites. I didn't think the mix was done very well, but I do respect them trying to experiment with that Jackson 5 sound because you never really see that in the rock community, and I thought, that was interesting. Good call, but I just don't think he executed really well. At number 4, we have the first single that was released on May 3rd, 2019. This is Tapping Out. The song's all about feeling like you're trying to make everything work, and you just keep trying and trying, and it's not working, and at the point you feel like just giving up and, tapping out. So that's where the song really kind of comes in here. The song starts out like it's going to be this, like, this real pop production, which I thought, oh, this is a little bit interesting. But then it goes in this more hard rock vibe with a lower tone guitar, which I thought, you know what? Now I'm kind of getting into this, because I like that kind of style. The vocals had this really weird 2010s pop vibe to it, on top of this hard rock backtrack from the instrumentals, which I actually kind of like because the vocals sound like it was something like from The Weeknd circa 2015, but the hard rock sound from the guitars and the instrumentation and the drums and everything, I actually thought it worked out rather well. The chorus does stick with that harder rock sound, and the vocal pattern remains something more of that rock style, so they kind of switch it up to there, which I did like it as well because it creates a little bit of mix of the contrast from a more poppy vocal to a more rock vocal style. The bridge actually goes unclean in this one. I think it's the only time it really goes unclean in the whole entire album, and I really did like with that because it, again, created this mixture of it. Overall, I actually really liked how Tapping Out mixed a lot of different styles in this one. This is one where a lot of that experimentation, a lot of that mixture actually went well together to create a well-balanced song. So good job, Issues, when it comes to Tapping Out. At number 5, we have the song Without You. This song talks all about the timidness and fear that people have within them when they find something that they like and they're too afraid to make the move. And then they, again, as life goes on, they end up regretting actually not going for it. So this is something that a lot of people actually really experience, so this is a very interesting thing to write a song about. The song does start with this like synthesizer that gives me this 80s funk vibe. However, the verse takes that out of there, and they kind of go with a little bit more of a style that Atmosphere would go with, which I do enjoy how they bring in the harder guitar, especially in the pre-chorus this part, but with that Atmosphere vibe, I really wasn't really understanding it and really getting where they were coming from on this one. Where the chorus, this isn't something to write home about, guys, because with the chorus, you really get that same kind of Atmosphere vibe, which I really wasn't a big fan of overall, wasn't one of my favorite songs, but the pre-chorus in this song, whoa, this one was done well. At number 6, we have the song Rain. This song talks all about depression and how people that do not have it or are not going through it don't understand, are always saying, oh, just get over it, just get out of it. And it's really not that easy. So it dives into that where it's kind of trying to explain exactly what's going on here. When the song starts out, it kind of has this weird funk vibe, but then it goes into something if you mix Starset with Mayday Parade, which I thought, whoa, this is actually really interesting, especially within the first verse. When the chorus hits, the chorus reminded me of something that Mayday Parade would have come off with, especially off the A Lessons in Romantics album. So I'm thinking, Jamie All Over and Jersey is really where they took their influence on this one. Overall, I actually really like this song because they really blended in those sad boy and emo vibes and music sounds into a song that's about depression and trying to understand it. So I think this one was constructed very well when it comes to the meaning and to the overall influences that Issues took on this one. At number 7, we have the song Downfall. This song is all about going through a breakup of some kind when you're blinded by that person and they're just trying to change you over and over again to where you actually lose your individuality. This recently happened to a buddy of mine that I actually ended up helping him get out of a relationship like this. So Thankfully, we got him out of there, and I'm pretty happy about that. So the song intros more with this hard rock sound from the guitar, and I was actually starting to really get into it because I was hoping they were going to stick with something like that. But no, once the first verse hit, they go with this softer and a little bit more poppier sound mixed with like a Pierce the Veil kind of style, especially off of their most recent album. So I was like, oh, this is a little different. The chorus takes it to a little bit harder and goes again with that poppier, lighter Pierce the Veil kind of style. But it really is an interesting mix, and it really kind of gives me that hard rock feel based on the guitar. The vocals in the chorus here have this like weird high pitch, and they come to the downfall, and it really hits hard on that emotional thing that the song is calling for. So overall, taking a look at this song, I really like the instrumentation on this one, as I think it really sticks a little bit more raw, but the vocals really kind of draw me out of it and really messes up the mixture of it overall. Not the biggest fan of Downfall. At number 8, we have the song Second Best. This song talks all about how depression and a lack of confidence can make us truly feel like we are not deserving of the life and the happiness that we really truly deserve. So this is a very interesting song and a very interesting topic to cover. The song begins with this mellow and depressed emo vibes. Again, I'm going back to Mayday Parade with a lesson in romantics. But then they focus on this more metalcore instrumentation, especially in the intro, which I thought, okay, this is getting a little bit interesting. We'll see where they come from here. The verses change up where they use a much calmer style of vocals, but they still keep up with the metalcore instrumentation, which I thought, now this is a very interesting kind of mix up, very interesting kind of style. I'm curious to see how it progresses into the chorus. And I really didn't care for the vocals in the chorus in this one overall, as they were way too monotone. And it was very something that took me out of the song. Consequently, the ever-changing pitch in the verses actually achieves the opposite, where it really brings you in, where the monotoneness of the chorus really takes you out of it. So overall, I really do like the mix on this one from that emo kind of style with metalcore, but they really missed the mark on the vocals because that chorus is way too monotone to really hit that emotional level hard like they should. At number 9, we have the song Get It Right. So this song is straight up about the lust that you feel when you initially, find a person, you fall in love with them, and you get that initial lust that you're attracted to them physically. So this is every teenage boy that's ever been in a relationship ever. So you guys can totally understand this one. In the intro, they finally bring in some cool drum fills, which I'm like, yeah, let's go. I want to see how this one ends up. And then once I hit the verses, they went to some weird, poppy, overproduced kind of Justin Timberlake style, which got me thinking, oh, those drum fills were cool. Why are we doing this to me? And then this really does not work for me on this one, because as the instrumentation goes hard at sometimes, it actually overpowers the vocals on this one to where the mixture does not work well. And as much as I like the instrumentation when it goes harder, but mixing it with that JT style and really overpowering the vocals makes for a messy song. Get It Right was not a song I cared for at all. It was really messy, really overdone to the point where the vocals were way too low, and it just didn't work well. This was a fail on their part. This was a fail. Coming at number 10, we have the song Flexin. This is the third single on the album, which came out a week before the album was released on September 27th. This song is all about Tyler Carter's financial situation, and it's also a way for the band to let loose and kind of just try something completely different, because they said this is the black sheep song on the record. I was told by one of our fans that this song was going to be something that they want to go with, try and get a Prince vibe to it, so let's put it through the test. The song does give me vibes like they mix, like a G6 and Gorillaz with some Prince in there. I thought, whoa, this is really wacky and really interesting, but I'm not sure if they're going to really hit it right. The most poppy song on the album by far, because it was really straight pop kind of Prince style in the end. I thought, not really here for this. It was really overproduced. However, I think the problem that I have with the song is when you're dealing with something, you're trying to take influence from Prince, you're really trying to make that Prince vibe, there is such a small margin of error where it really misses the mark if you just step off to the side a little bit. This is what I think happened to issues on this one, where they had that small margin of error, and I think they just overstepped it by a little bit, so it's a little bit messy, but when they're trying to go for the Prince vibe, if you got that off of Flexin, yeah, you definitely hit it right. Coming in number 11, we have the song No Problem, Keep It Alive. The song is all about getting past the superficial part of the relationship and beginning to really love and care for somebody, all because of who they are as a person, not really wanting to change anything about that because you fall in love with them for who they are. The song begins with this real funky bass line, got me thinking, okay, are we getting some kind of Motown experimentation here? Ooh, let me see what we got. But this doesn't stick with us at all as we get into the first verse. It's like a mix between Lionel Richie and a much harder rock sound in the chorus as well. So I thought, whoa, this is really interesting. When it comes to the chorus, I've talked about a huge missed opportunity on this one because they had this hard rock sound and you're dealing with the verse which had more of a Lionel Richie lyrical kind of vibe. I thought they should have gone unclean with the vocals in the chorus because that contrast between a Lionel Richie style vocal in the verses and a metalcore screaming unclean vocal style in the chorus, I thought that contrast would have worked out tremendously here. So overall, this one kind of runs together because there's a lot of experimentation in it and it doesn't really mix well together. There's no super contrast that can really pull this one together. So I think it really missed an opportunity here. At number 12, you have the song Your Sake. This song is all about the relationships we have with people that are potentially toxic, where we don't want to get rid of them because maybe we have past experiences that we don't want to forget with them, or we're just too afraid to go out into the unknown. But getting rid of those people might be worth it. I was talking about my buddy earlier who got him out of a bad relationship. That was his sake. And this was something that happened with someone I knew for almost 10 years. So I am very personal with this kind of message as well. The song has this acoustic feel. It begins with like the piano and a much larger focus on the vocal performance here. It's much larger because it stays acoustic piano all the way through. It seems like something you expect like if they mix with an Adele kind of style, you know, like hello, it's me kind of thing, but with a lot more piano. I do have to give some credit on this one. Trust me, I do have to give them credit because the vocals, they show a little bit more range on this one overall, but it also brings in a slightly higher pitch, which really brings the emotion up behind the song. And I thought that was the proper move on this one, especially for what they were going for with a softer, more acoustic, just straight up piano kind of sound. Overall, the song is a tough listen, but I thought they really hit the mark on this one in terms of the experimentation with the kind of Adele style, with a softer vocal style, with a little bit more range, higher pitches to really drive that emotion. So well done on Your Sake, guys. Well done. All right, last song of the album is number 13. This is the titular track, Beautiful Oblivion. The song is a conclusion about how the previous songs and experiences that we went through, they match and how they make us who we are, and then we're able to find our inner peace by, realizing that we went through all these and they have made us who we are today, and we are resilient, we are warriors, all that kind of stuff. The song intros with a style that mixes alternative and pop the tendencies of Justin Timberlake and Bruno Mars in this one, which is a really interesting kind of vibe. I'm not a fan of it as it makes a weird vibe to end the album on, especially when you ended it with Your Sake previously, which I thought would have been a great ending. I do like the fact that they're bringing in that conclusion to the whole entire album with finding that inner peace in the meaning, but the sound really does not work well. Once the instrumentation comes in, it kind of sticks with heart. It makes the song better in my mind, but again, a missed opportunity where the contrast between like a Justin Timberlake, Bruno Mars style vocal and an unclean chorus would have worked so well here, but they missed the opportunity here again. So overall, this song is all about missed opportunities when it comes to the style, ending it the way it is. The only thing good about ending the way it is it wraps it up with the meaning really nicely. All right, time for me to rate Beautiful Oblivion by Issues. What's the rating? Here it is! I'm going to give Issues, split it right down the middle, a 5 out of 10. Alrighty, 5 out of 10 for Beautiful Oblivion by Issues. Why is it 5 out of 10? Well, let me tell you why. Let's go into what I like about this album, and I do have to respect the band's willingness to experiment because each song had a different vibe to it, and they mix it with a lot of different influences and styles. Taking a look at some of the ones that we mentioned Prince, Mayday Parade, Lionel Richie, Bruno Mars, Justin Timberlake, the Jackson 5, Pierce the Veil, Adele. And it's incredibly hard to make a whole album and take all those influences and roll it into one. So I do have to respect them for making that kind of a move. I do like the depths with the song means because they ended up dealing with a lot of things that we have gone through personally. Not only myself, but a lot of the audience for Issues as well. So it's very relatable and they really don't pull any punches where the lyrics are less metaphorical, but they really do tell a story. So I really did like that as well. And I like sometimes that the experimentation went over really well, like Tapping Out, where you're mixing alt rock and hard rock with The Weeknd, which I thought, whoa, this is actually pretty cool. Rain, where you're mixing that Starset and Mayday Parade vibes with a little bit of funk and really going full emo on it, which really worked. And Your Sake with making that Adele sound with the piano. I really liked it on this one. So that's what I like about this one specifically. But if I gave it a 5 out of 10, I kind of dislike it for some stuff. So what I dislike about it, this album lacked musical identity because I think they overkilled it on the experimentation, where each song really experimented with many different styles, many different feels, many different things, to the point where this album, it doesn't have a sound. I really don't understand what Issues' sound is at this point, or if they're just going to take a lot of different experimentation and try a lot of different things. That's not necessarily a bad thing, to try and take a lot of things, but when it comes to this album, I don't know what it wants to be outside of the meaning itself. So it's one of those things to go with full experimental, but it's another thing where it's another trope of it to really bring you to the downfall. And again, the missed opportunities on a couple of these songs to really get those contrasts with some of those more poppy vocals in the verses, and then go full chorus with unclean vocals. That transition, that contrast would have brought so much more to the table on Beautiful Oblivion and No Problem Keep It Alive. That would have worked out so well, but oh man, they missed the mark on that one. So in summary, I do respect the band's ability to experiment and take a lot of different influences. I do like the fact that Issues did pull that off. However, I think they overkilled it to the point where this album seems more of a collection of songs that just kind of get put in there, like kind of like a greatest hits thing, but really lack a musical identity if you don't fully take a look at the lyrics and understand the meaning behind the whole album. So you did a good thing, but you did way too much of it and made it not so great. That's my opinion on this album, and that's a summary of it. Well, that's it. Thank you for watching the My Song Day Rock 2008 album review YouTube video of Beautiful Oblivion by Issues. If you like the video, you like the review, give me a like. If you dislike it, give me the dislike. But put in the comments why, because I want to see what you think about it, and I want to hear your thoughts. Also, if you're not subscribed to this YouTube channel, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. No. Hit the one in the corner and hit the bell icon as well. That one will let you subscribe. That one will notify you every time I release a video every single Wednesday, and sometimes some special Monday ones if we have more than one album to review in 1 week. So let's get those out of here. Let's talk social media. We're on many different places in social media, so follow us on, let's go Facebook. Facebook, you're going to find out anything you need to know. Let's go with Twitter. On Twitter, you're going to be able to talk to us. On Instagram, you're going to be able to talk to us, get behind the scenes stuff from IGTV videos. You're going to get to be able to see our Instagram live streams every Wednesday night. Come talk to us and get so much more value out of it. Also, TikTok, we're just starting that up as well for some fun videos, so go follow us on all that. Links in the description below. Let's get those out of here. Talk about the Chord Progression Podcast. This is a podcast where we go much more dive into music, and we talk with you guys about it. So we've talked with followers all about these new albums. We've talked with smaller bands from Small Band Saturdays that you can get in on early, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. And it's just a great way to get your week going and get, going through the music, because we release videos, and I should say on YouTube, we release podcasts on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play every single Tuesday. So links description below. Now we have an Amazon Alexa skill where you can hear the song of the day choice all the time. I say, Alexa, play my song of the day. She'll play the song of the day, and you get to hear it in its entirety. So you get to, rediscover old bands you used to love, discover new bands you're gonna love. Get a song that you just can fall in love with. And this is where Small Band Saturday comes in, because with Small Band Saturday, you get to hear a full song from a smaller band that is making their way up here, and you want to get on them before everyone else does. We are also putting 30-second previews of Small Band Saturday bands on all our social media platforms. However, those 30-second video previews, they're going to be coming to every single platform at the end of October. So get ready for that, because that's going to be awesome. And I want to thank everybody for watching this video, for subscribing to all your stuff, being part of the best rock community on the internet. I love you guys. Thank you very much. This is Kevin from the My Song Day Rock 2008 YouTube channel. Let's get the hat flip. Came close, but see ya!